with Trainer Rocky.
In today's video, I'm going to be showing you static and foam roller stretches to aid your lower body recovery process so you can get back into the gym to train those legs and glutes. First up, we have a 3-minute warm-up because we never want to stretch a cold muscle. First up, we got ankle grabs, and notice that I'm grabbing right above my foot, so I'm not actually grabbing my foot here. I'm grabbing at the ankle joint and giving it a slight little tuck. This stretches out your quadriceps. Next up, we have some knee hugs, so grabbing underneath that knee, giving it a little hug to your chest. This is going to stretch out your hamstrings, just getting them warm. Also, make sure you have a soft knee joint on that standing leg. We don't want to lock our knees out. Next, we're going to do a light boxer shuffle, so just alternating the feet here in a shuffling manner to warm up those ankles. Now that those ankles are warm, let's do some ankle circles. We're gonna just go clockwise for 10, and then we're gonna go counterclockwise for 10 for each ankle. Let's go ahead and jump into some butt kicks next. Just kicking the foot up to the butt. This one is going to be targeting those hamstrings, just making sure that they're nice and warm. Okay, let's do some free body squats. Feet shoulder width apart, keep that chest up. Inhale on the way down, exhale pushing through those heels. We're going to be warming up those glutes and quads here. You can reach your hands forward to aid your balance as well. Last but not least, let's go ahead and do some leg swings. So you can use the wall or a chair to kind of keep you balanced as you swing your leg out. Remember that standing leg is going to have a soft knee joint. We don't want to lock our knees out during any of these exercises. Nice. All warmed up. We're going to go ahead and do some static stretches now. With these stretches, make sure you are mindful of your body. Listen to your body. If it begins to become too painful, back off the stretch a little bit because you do not want to overstretch your muscles. You can actually injure yourself if you do that. We're going to go ahead and start with the ankle grab. So stretching out those quadriceps on the front portion of your thigh. Remember, we don't want to grab our foot. We want to grab the ankle and give it a tug. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides. Grabbing that ankle, stretching out the left quad now. Okay, we're going to do a series of stretches on the floor now, so go ahead and place one foot in and one foot out. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the reach over. I'm placing the back of my right hand on my left thigh here, and I'm reaching up and over, looking towards the ceiling. You're going to feel this stretch all along the side of your body here. To deepen this stretch, you want to try to sit further back into those butt bones. So plant those ischial tuberosities into the ground to elongate the spine. Inhale up and exhale, turning to fold over your right leg with the knee slightly bent. Make sure those hips are in line and squared out. To deepen this stretch, go ahead and try to touch your forehead to your knee, slowly lengthening out the ankle further, pointing those toes. You should feel this stretch on the back side of your thigh here and on top of your shin. Finally, we're going to inhale up and exhale, folding down the middle. Point the toes, lengthening through the spine, and reach out as far as you can in front of you, stretching those adductors here. Taking small breaths here. And each time we exhale, try to stretch just a little bit deeper. Whew. Let's go ahead and switch legs now. We'll bring that left leg out, right foot in. We're going to have our left hand over the right thigh. Inhaling up and exhaling, bending laterally. To deepen this stretch, you can look up towards the ceiling and or point your toes, which I seem to have forgotten to do here, but it does help to aid the stretch here. So feel free to point your left toe away from you. On that stretch all along the side of our body. And remember, each time we exhale, we want to try to deepen that stretch. Inhale up and turn to face your foot, knee slightly bent. Exhale on the fold. We're going to be stretching out the deep hamstrings now. Try to bring that forehead towards your knee to deepen this stretch and point the toes. Okay, inhale up. And we're going to exhale, folding down the middle this time, hitting those adductors. Make sure you point your toes and reach far as you can out in front of you. Keeping those ischial tuberosities planted is key here because that's also going to stretch out your quadratus lumborum. Okay, let's just hit the adductors really quick while we're here. We're going to do the butterfly, but instead of bouncing our knees up and down, I want y'all to just statically hold this pose, pushing down into your knees to deepen this stretch. Okay, stand up and shake it out. We should move on to our quadriceps and hip flexors. Switch it up a little bit. So shake it out and let's go ahead and roll up back of your mat so you have some padding for your knees here. Next, we're going to stretch out the hip flexors. We're going to square out our hips, placing one foot out in front of us with the goal to keep our chest up while pushing our hips forward. To advance this stretch, you can reach behind you, grabbing your ankle. This will make the hip flexors even more elongated because the quadriceps aid in hip flexion, and we're doing the opposite of that here. Next, we're going to go ahead and let go and extend our front leg out with the knee slightly bent. Remember to square your hips over your leg. Deepen into the stretch by slowly trying to move your foot further out in front of you. Lean back into it, pushing back into your hips. I tend to feel this stretch right underneath my glutes where the hamstrings attach. To advance it even further, you could extend the knee fully and try to touch your forehead to your knee. go ahead and switch legs here. We're going to do the same thing, stretching out the hip flexors on the left side now. And remember, try to sit up nice and tall and push into your hip to feel that stretch right along the front side of your hip down into your thigh. Okay, let's go ahead and work on the front leg now. So release your ankle and try to push back into your hips to feel the stretch along the hamstrings of your front leg. Sometimes I'll lunge into it and then bring it back into a stretch to help deepen it. Remember, we don't want to go to the point of pain, so just breathe through it. Be mindful of your body. Listen to what it's telling you. And notice here, I actually was able to deepen my stretch, so I extended my knee out just a little bit more. Lastly, I'm going to attempt to do the split and use the newly loosened muscles that I have to try to advance into the front splits. So I'm leaning into my hips, using my hand to support my body and just pushing my hip down, trying to lengthen out, leaning into it. Being mindful of the body. Remember to try to square your hips out. That'll deepen the stretch. And let's switch sides and continue to do that on the other side. Here I am attempting to do the splits. If you can do the splits, let me know in the comments. I'd really like to know that. That's a really good achievement, honestly. And did you know you can achieve your flexibility goals in about 2 to 4 weeks if you're actually consistent with it? Okay, now that we got the hamstrings and quads all stretched out, let's go ahead and move on to the glute region. We're going to start with what I like to call the supermodel pose. So the goal here is to bring your knee over your other leg as far as you can. So I'm using my elbow to kind of aid in my pushing of my knee across my leg, twisting to the right. You should begin to feel this along the side of your glutes here on the right side. And we're going to switch sides now, crossing the left leg over the right, taking right elbow, pushing against your knee, twisting to the left. You should feel this along the left side of your glutes. Okay, next on the list we have the newspaper. What you're going to do is you're going to take your right ankle and put it on top of your left knee and sit into it. This will stretch on the side of the right glute here. Notice I'm lengthening through the spine and trying to push into my ischial tuberosities and pushing my knee downwards. Okay, so switching sides, putting the left foot on the right knee, and what you're trying to do is push that left knee further down, lengthening through the spine at the same time, and you should feel this now on the left side of your glutes. Lastly, we're going to do the pigeon pose, which targets your piriformis. What we're going to do is we're just going to bring one foot forward and extend our back leg out, squaring out our hips. To deepen into this stretch, you would want to try to bring your ankle a little bit further up and try to fold over onto your knee. Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides, bringing the right knee forward in between our hands and trying to bring the ankle up a little bit, extending that left leg back and squaring our hips out. You can deepen this stretch again by leaning forward over your thigh and trying to move your ankle a little bit higher up. Time to get into some foam roller techniques.
So with the foam roller, you don't ever want to roll over your joints. So have your elbows, your shoulders, your knees, your ankles. You want to try to avoid rolling over those joints because that's where you're more prone to injury because you have a lot more ligaments in your joints. Your lower body is going to be important to use the foam roller on because your muscles are so much bigger and your fibers, they go a lot deeper into your body. So when you foam roll, you can start at the beginning of a joint and end at the distal or more proximal joint. First thing we're going to do are the quads. So with your quadriceps, what we're going to do is we're going to start at our hips here, and we're just going to lay down on that foam roller and relax, okay? And you're just going to use your upper body strength to stabilize yourself, so your upper body is not relaxed, but your lower body will be. And you're just going to crawl yourself along that quadricep there until you get to the knee right here, and then you're going to roll yourself back. So lay on the hips, walk yourself along. Once you feel a knot, take a moment to just breathe through the knot. You want to try to relax, tell your body to relax there, where the pain is, where that knot is, where the muscle is tight. If you really put yourself into a state of mind of relaxation, hopefully this helps, okay? So try to breathe through it, try to tell your body to relax that muscle, and just let it go. And what you can do is you can point your toes in and walk across the quads, as well as point your toes outwards and walk across the quads. So what that's going to do is going to hit all the different muscle bellies of your quadriceps, because you have the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, the rectus femoris goes down the middle, but you also want to hit those lateral and medial aspects of your quadriceps as well. And then what else you can do, you can also do your calves, okay? So your calves, I usually start from my ankles, and I'll just walk myself again across to my knee. And then come back, and again, you have two heads of the gastrocnemius. You have a lateral and a medial head. So you can turn your toes inwards to hit more of that medial head of the gastroc. And then turn your toes outwards to hit that lateral head. Okay, so underneath is the soleus, which is really more straight down the middle. You don't want to forget to hit the gastrocnemius, each side of the gastrocnemius. Okay. Now let's do our hamstrings. So with the hamstrings, usually it's best seated in a chair. Once you're seated on something stable, you're going to take your foam roller. Okay, so you want to go from your butt bone, your sit bone, also called the ischial tuberosity, and you want to roll, extending your leg out as you roll and back all the way to the knee, okay? Don't roll over your knee joint itself, just stop right before you hit the actual popliteal fossa here, okay? I suggest using like a chair or a bed. Again, starting right at that ischial tuberosity, you can even sit on it if you want to, and it might be a little tender, so be careful there. But you're gonna roll right off the ischial tuberosity, right where those hamstrings are attaching, and you're gonna extend out the leg and bring it back. Swing out the leg. Bring it back. You want to roll all the way to your knee. And then bringing it back to the ish. Alright. Last, I have the glutes. I roll this along the posterior aspect of the glutes. Small area. So I'm rolling over the sit bone here, since the hamstrings attached there, as well as some glutes. Okay, so rolling along the main body part of it, and then we're gonna twist to the side, and we're gonna hit the side booty. Okay, so you can use your arm to stabilize you here, and you just want to play around with it, because honestly there's so many angles in your glutes and so many small little muscles like the piriformis and your glute med that attach in different angles of your glutes, and whichever muscles tightest will have that effect. Top of my hip bone, where you kind of put your hands on your hips, that's where you want to target. And I'm just twisting my feet and twisting my leg to try to get every angle in the glutes, because there's a lot of different muscle fibers, and all the different muscle fibers run in different angles. So really just play around with it. There's not really one way to explain it. You just kind of got to sit on your butt, and wherever it hurts, sit there for a while, try to let it relax and breathe through it. And then switch sides. Ooh, this one hurts. Okay, so again, rolling to the top of your hip, then coming back to the ischial-tuberosity. And I'm twisting in all different angles to get all the angle of the fibers of your glutes. Okay, and then just breathe through it. Whew. All right, well, that's my recovery session. I hope y'all enjoyed this recovery and that it helps you. Comment below, let me know what you guys think about this recovery and if it helped you out.
To take a moment and say thank you to all the new subscribers. Your support means the world to me. I'm so glad that I can help y'all fix your fit along your fitness journeys. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, and feel free to subscribe so you can too fix your fit.